Good morning. It's day 2 of the countdown to Christmas alternative advent calendar. I want to talk to you today about belief because we all know how important it is to have belief. And if you've got small children around and you're watching or listening to this, I suggest you perhaps put them in another room or tune back in a bit later on when they're not around, because belief is the most important thing you can have at this time of year. And I'd like to share a story with you today. A number of years ago, when my son was around 12 years old, I thought if I was lucky, I might get one last Christmas out of him whilst he still believed in Father Christmas. And as I have done every year since he was born, as soon as he was in bed, I got my partner's walking boots out, the fake snow, sprayed around the walking boots to create footprints from either the fireplace to his bedroom or the front door to his bedroom. When we were in a flat, it was the front door to the bedroom. And then once I had done that, I got the glitter out to create Santa's magic trail. And year on year, it had been a moment of wonderment for this little boy growing up until he reached the age of 12. Now, unbeknown to me, a couple of weeks earlier, he'd said to my partner, "Please don't say anything to Mum because I don't want to upset her. But I haven't believed in Father Christmas since I was about 10." And of course, like all 12-year-olds, he at that point thought he knew everything there was to know about everything. And trust me, that's carried on until he's well into his teens. I'm sure you can appreciate where I'm coming from there if you have teenage children. So I went through the whole charade, and my son went through the charade, and what a great little actor he was. Talk about a chip off the old block. And my partner upheld that belief as well because he was caught in the middle and he didn't want to upset my son and lose my son's trust. And he didn't want to upset me because he knew how much fun I had doing that Christmas trail year on year for my son. But although my son had said he didn't believe and he'd stopped believing at about the age of 10, there was an element of doubt because he had a number of questions going through his mind, like, why would Mum go to all this trouble if he doesn't exist? Who buys my presents? Because I know Mum can't afford to buy all of them. She doesn't have enough money. And if Mum does buy them, where does she hide them? Because I can't find them anywhere in the house. So there was an element of doubt there for him. Now, of course, after the event, we all laughed about it, and I still tease him that if he doesn't believe Father Christmas won't deliver. And on Christmas Eve, we put out the obligatory mince pie and the sherry and the carrot for Rudolph. Okay, I take bites out of the carrot, throw it into the field at the end of the garden where I know the foxes and the deer and the badgers and everything else will enjoy it. I enjoy the sherry, my partner enjoys the mince pie. So there's something in it for everybody. And my son knows that, but that's still part of the ritual that we carry on to this day, even though my son will roll his eyes and say, "Oh, goodness, Mum, just pour yourself a glass of sherry." And I said, "No, this is important. We have to leave this for Santa." And every year I still threaten to do the Santa Trail. Whether I'll get away with it this year, I'm not quite sure. I think my son and my partner have had enough of it by now because it's an awful lot of vacuuming up to do first thing on Christmas morning. However, I digress because the subject of today's alternative advent is belief. And it's not actually about whether you believe in Father Christmas or Santa Claus or Saint Nick or whatever you call him. It's about how you support your partner in their beliefs and how your partner supports you. Does your partner come to you with a big goal, a big dream, a big aspiration and say, "You're never going to achieve that. I don't know why you're bothering"? Or do you respond with, "Absolutely, go for it. What have you got to do to make this happen? How can I help?" How does your partner respond to your dreams and your goals and beliefs and aspirations? Because that has a massive impact on a relationship. If you don't feel your partner has belief in you, It's not a great place. You always end up pursuing your own dreams or goals with that doubt in the back of your mind. And most of us, I'm sure you'll agree, have that sort of element of doubt anyway. We might want to do something, we might want to achieve something. There's always something like, oh, can I do this? Is it possible? And that's why we set these goals. They're so out there. We need something that drives us in a relationship. If you don't get that support from your partner, it actually can be quite damaging. So why does your partner not support your beliefs? Well, a lot of that stems to fear. It can be fear of failure, fear of a success, or even fear of change, because change is something that scares us all. And this past year has certainly given us lots of change to think about and be worried about. And I work with my clients on that. We go through the process of transition and we do a lot of deep work on that. I'm not going to go into that right here, right now. But I'd just like to ask you, in this Christmas season, the alternative Advent, if your partner comes to you with a goal, with a dream, with a desire, with a belief, and maybe you don't support them wholeheartedly, rather than give the knee jerk, what makes you think you can achieve that? Or, oh, yeah, like that's going to happen. How about saying, go for it? Because one of my favorite quotes is, whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. That's a quote attributed to Henry Ford. And it's quite true. If you think you can do something, you're more likely to achieve it. If you think you can't do something, guess what? You're not going to achieve it. It's a quote that I share with my son time and time again, particularly now as he's in his GCSE years. But I ask you right now to get behind your partner and their dreams. And ask your partner to get behind yours. And if you don't know how to ask them, then perhaps share this little video with them. Or join my free 5 days to redefine your relationships training. It starts on Monday. I'll pop the link below and join in and find out more how to have those difficult conversations. But whatever happens this Christmas, don't stop believing. I'm not going to launch into song now. I just want you to have belief in yourself and in your partner and ask them to have belief in you and themselves too. Have a great rest of the day. I'll catch up with you again tomorrow.